After, it's just waiting.
Good afternoon everybody and welcome to the Sim Racers Asia GT Simulator Series. Alex Simpson, Brenton O'Brien back for ARL TV. Welcome Brenton, good to be back. It's been a few weeks now since the last one and yeah, we're back in the GT3s here at Suzuka.
Yeah, Season 2 2015 Sim Racers Asia Series. Fantastic to be back, and there's some exciting new developments in the series, some changes, lots of new drivers, and already a very strong field for round one here at Suzuka.
Yeah, we're looking at some 41 drivers turned up for practice. Not all of them are set time so far in qualifying, so we'll keep an eye on that and see how they do, but I'm sure we're going to have a pretty packed grid for this race.
Yeah, we will. Just going through this season, well, we've got the 3, 6, 9, 11 races for this series, finalising with a 90-minute race, a team event at Sebring, but rounds 4 and 8 are going to be a reverse grid as well. So yeah, it's going to be an exciting season. I know there was a talk in the off-season by Mark in regards to the possibility of changing cars, but I think just weight of numbers for encouragement, to favour the GT3 cars, and with the addition of the Cadillac as well, it just spreads that class out a little bit more, doesn't it? So yeah, looking forward to it very much.
Yeah, so we'll touch on, obviously there is a little sort of single-seater series being run as well by the admins as well, so if you're interested in a little bit of Star Mazda fun, go check that out. That's on the iRacing forum as well, so I think there's quite a few people signed up for that. It looks like it could be a good league. Yeah, just a bit different, and yeah, I just think, like you say, the weight of numbers in favour of the GT3 style races at the moment is just super popular, and you know, due to demand, really, they just they couldn't move away from that type of racing. But yeah, we're just looking at Caddy on the screen right now. Of course, very different dynamic in there. Unlike the Corvette a couple of seasons ago, it's actually a little bit slower than the GT3s. Not a great deal. They are quite tricky to overtake. We just actually have a look now. McLaren seems to be much faster through the corners, but a little bit slower in a straight line. So yeah, it's going to certainly spice up up the racing a little bit. And I think the fuel for these are going to come into consideration as well. So double the fuel. We'll have to see how that plays out, whether or not they're going to be able to do the race on a single tank of fuel, or if they are going to require a pit stop as well, maybe just a splash and dash or something like that. So, but yeah, so gonna be tricky, gonna spice it up. Only a few caddies out there, so most guys still seem to be favouring the BMW and the Rough this season, Brenton.
Yeah, they do. The Rough gets 40 litres at the start of the race. The Ford GT3 gets 46. The Bimmer gets 46 litres. The McLaren MP412C 52 litres, and the Caddy 90 litres. So, yeah, with the Roughs and the BMWs and the McLaren, they get that choice of changing their fuel mapping. I don't think the Cadillac gets that. So there's going to be such fine points here. You know, there's a belief that the Cadillac won't have to stop in majority, if not any of these races, whereas the GT3s will have to stop at most of these. So it just adds that little bit of spice to the whole series.
Yep, just having a look at the weather conditions as well. Obviously, track map was up at the start of the broadcast, but yeah, so only 19 degrees out there, so track's actually quite cold, but clear skies. So yeah, the asphalt's warming up quite nicely, so it could be a little bit slick at the end of the run. We've certainly seen that thermal degradation, the current tyre builds, causes a lot of problems for guys out there. So yeah, I think at the end of the run it could be quite interesting, especially if we've got some close battles, because it won't be easy to make those late pass moves, late braking and things like that, for sure.
Yeah, 17 turns here at Suzuka, obviously famous for its Grand Prix every year, and yeah, going back to the what was it, AC, the 90s, I guess, with Prost and Senna just continually banging into each other. It just seemed like every year it was just going to happen, wasn't it? But yeah, it's a famous track, one I've actually had the pleasure of being to a couple of times. It's an awesome atmosphere. The whole place is just a real show type thing, even within the track. So yeah, very much a driver's track, this one. And yourself, AC, obviously in the F1 circles, you've done a lot of driving here, and I still don't know anyone who could say how to take the S's. I don't think anyone will say the same answer twice.
No, I think you're right there. So many different lines through there, and people you see compromise different corners to try and get exit speeds out of different areas of it. So yeah, very technical circuit. That first couple of sectors really does sort of separate the men from the boys, I have to say, and the rest of the circuit is obviously quite great as well. Spoon curve, the hairpin, obviously figure of 8 as well, so pretty unique in itself. But would love to go, actually, one of the circuits I'd love to go. So like you say, I always seem to see the atmosphere there, just seems to be amazing. So
yeah, I had the pleasure of living about a 20-minute train ride from the track, so it wasn't hard for me to get to the track at all, back in the early 90s. But yeah, just back to here, there's so many new names. I'm glad we came on early tonight. Just the amount of popularity that this series seems to have. It just seems to pick up every season. That's just yeah, totally committed to Mark Lang and the outstanding work that he does in hosting and running this series. And you know, even today we got a little booklet type thing that came out via email in regards to what to expect in the rules. It's just such a professional job. He does an outstanding job. Yeah,
every season, same kind of level of work that goes into it. And it's great to see all the feedback as well, and guys actually stepping up and replying to Mark as well. So I think it just goes to make the series better each time we step out. So another season, put it together pretty quickly, but yeah, it's going to be great for sure.
Yeah, and the plan is again this season to probably run the 2 splits. It's all according to numbers. Obviously got the 1 split tonight. The Pro-Am class, which is above the 2000 rating, and the Clubman class for those below the 2000 rating. But you know, like I said, with the Suzuka holds 60 pit stalls, so they can comfortably get the cars in time. Yeah, it's just great to see. I think, yeah, most of the cars are roughs of the BMWs, but I think I've seen 2, maybe 3 Ford GT3s out there after the success that Tobias Cherney had in winning the championship last season. So, you know, I noticed Lars Jefferson's out there in the Ford GT. The car is 028, and he can steer his car around any track and anywhere. So watch out for him. A new addition to this series, so it's welcome to have him on board.
Yeah, we've seen the dynamic that the Ford's got, so very quick through the pit stop phase and doesn't seem to drop off lap time as much as the others. So yeah, good to see that a few more drivers have took up the challenge, so should be great.
Yeah, and we've also got Timmy Ballinger has moved over to a different team as well. He's with Aaron Osborne there, and it's quite a striking skin, the Bridgestone car. Yeah, so again, he had some good success last season. I think he came 8th in the championship. I'll just chase that up now. Pretty sure I saw him coming 8th, but yeah, I would put him down as a big improver. 7th actually, there you go, 7th last season. So yeah, he just improves every week, and again, someone who shows a heavy commitment to this series.
Yeah, very consistent is Tim. And I think that's really what got him up and into that 7th place. I think he's sort of a fringe driver, isn't he? He's on the cusp of being able to fight in and around that top 5. He's just not quite there yet. So let's see what this season brings. I mean, sitting in 16th place in qualifying at the moment, like you say, a lot of new names and a lot of returning faces as well. So grid looks pretty close. Young Marcus Lindemann still pretty dominant up front. Obviously, we need to stop calling him that. He's gone through some birthdays, I think, since they first started racing in here. So he's maturing quite nicely, and that pace is picking up.
He's got a very strong team behind him, hasn't he? Coanda, yeah, you'd almost say probably the leading team in the world of iRacing, and you'd know more about that than I would, AC. But yeah, extremely strong team, and if I come off a good performance last week, I think it was in the Daytona 12 hour. So yeah, you know, there's no shocks here. When he races, he generally puts in a strong performance. What does surprise me is that Tobias Cherney in the car 1, and he's earned the car number 1, is moved from the winning 4G over to the rough with his brother Alex.
Yeah, so he likes to spice it up, doesn't he? Chop and change cars, and as a challenge of that, so good to see the brothers back. But yeah, obviously into the rough this time, so a little bit different. Another returning face, Mark Warmington and Victor Draveguard in the Blue Flag Racing team there as well, so they're back in the rough, I believe, as well. So have a quick look, see if Victor is as well. Yeah, both drivers in the rough as well, so good to see them. Just about 20 odd seconds left of qualifying. That's absolutely flown through, Brenton. I wonder if you can just give us a bit of a provisional, and we'll update if we so need to.
Yeah, well, Marcus Lindemann at the moment, provisional pole, the 56.729. I can't see that getting beaten. That's actually very consistent with his practice pace too, just the 6/100ths difference there. So yeah, I can't see that getting beaten, and it's the same with Scotty Gray as qualifying comes to conclude. So those cars who are on that lap have got that chance now, but there'll be no more new laps starting. Scotty Gray at the moment second with a 57.2. Again, I can't see him getting bumped from that. Again, that's just the 4/100ths from his practice time, so it's an excellent performance by Scotty Gray in the Mad Cow BMW. Lars Jefferson, we just spoke about him in the 028 Ford GT3, 58.128. Kevin Huang, 58.331. Alan Neves, and welcome to him in the car 55 of 58.353. In 5th place, Tobias Cherney probably hasn't a lot of track time this week from what I understand. Still found himself up into 6th place, 58.438. just the 3/100ths up on Charles Sierra and Evolution Racing Australia. Starley Sticks McLaren 58.4. Paulo Martins, I don't think he raced with us last season, I think he was with us the season before, at 58.6 in 8th place. I think he'd be pretty happy with that. Aaron Osborne, we discussed that team with Tim Ballinger in 9th place at 58.6, and James Keane, again new to the series in the Evolution Racing Australia McLaren MP412C at the moment, 58.7 sneaks him into the top 2, just that 3/100ths ahead of Fani Lazardi, in 11th place.
Yeah, Alex Cherney sits in 12th place again, suffering with a little bit of track time, 158.8. So Victor Dravegaard, 58.9, and then we've got Martin Krimmers there, 58.9. This grid is absolutely very, very close after you get out of the top 2, I think. Scotty Newton, 159.3, so a little bit of separation there once we start to hit sort of top 15. Mark Warmington, very, very close. Tim Ballinger. And then Matthew Ross Monroe in 18th place. Miko Nasi turned up. I didn't see him in the practice session, so that must have been a very late entry there. 159.8, of course, former champion. I'm sure he's probably limited the amount of time he's been running, but he might become strong at the end of the race once he gets a little bit more up to speed. It depends whether or not he's got a setup underneath him that's fairly competitive. Jason Martin there in 20th place as well. 21st, Alex Paul, driver that we'll be have a little focus on today as well. So did a great job last season, 4th place in the Clubman's Championship. Shane Reynolds, and then Ben Daly Jr. Darley Jr. in 23rd, Pat O'Hara 24th, and Matt Shinosky in 25th place.
Yeah, as we said with Vico Nasi, it's great to have him racing, isn't it? He's in the McLaren and probably hasn't had a lot of track time, so that's certainly one to watch out for. And Jason Martin, it's good to have him in the series. Very much a oval specialist. Jason does a great job. Alex Pohl, like you said, we'll be discussing him further. There's a lot of help as well for this series, from what I understand. Was interested that Victor Dravegaard actually out-qualified his teammate Mark Warmington. That wasn't the norm from last season, so yep, a rolling start here. So yeah, I would hope the top 2 don't clear out, but if Lars Jeppesen can get that Ford GT3 up and going, he'll make some noises, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think, like I say, that's going to be again an interesting dynamic. We had that last season, obviously, Tobias in that car, and he was able to sort of give us a little bit of excitement towards the end of the race, because we didn't really know what was going on with the strategy with that. So yeah, hopefully Lars can fill that void this time around, and so we'll keep a close eye on that and see how the strategies are going to work out. But we'll also keep an eye on the caddies as well, so we need to find and locate those guys on the grid and see how they're doing. I wonder actually, Brent, if you can just sort of scout down and see roughly where they might have qualified.
I'm actually trying to do that now. Just bear with us, trying to find the first of our Cadillacs. Thinking John King is the first of our qualifiers in 27th position, so keep an eye out for him in the Blackadder Motorsports Cadillac. We haven't had to say those before, and great sounding car, mind you. I'm going to hope we get on board for a lap with that at a later time. But yeah, I've seen the one. I've seen the 5 Cadillacs I think we've got, and Bruce Keeley bring up the rear. Didn't do a lap, and Adrian Jarvis looks like he'll be starting from pit lane as we're rolling away.
Yeah, just a short, obviously, pace starting on the back straight. Maybe a bit of a grudge match up front, kind of Sim Sports against Mad Cow. Of course, Mark Lindemann used to be Mad Cow. I know the drivers weren't in the same team at the same time, but I'm sure the Mad Cow guys will want to try and beat that Coanda car today.
Yeah, so the pace car's just slowing them down. Lindeman's leading the field.
Yeah, just backing the pack up a little bit. Always tricky, can get messy at the back. He's just waiting. At some point soon the flights are going to change. There he goes, nails it. Straight into the draft there as well. P2 had to settle in. Of course, we know how quick that Ford is as well in a straight line, so it's important to get the draft off of the lead as soon as possible. Looks like everybody's going to be cleanly through turn 1.
Yeah, just having a look through the field, it's coming across as, really clean. So, must admit, after watching qualifying practice, had some serious concerns. So, we got the one car off Anthony Winkleman, new to the series in the car 96 from 30th. Has had an issue, and Adrian Jarvis just leaves the pits now. But Marcus Lenneman leads race 1 2015 season 2 series, opener here. And watching out for Kevin Huang, the highest of our McLaren qualifiers. I must have been a little surprised with that. That's I'm going to call it, Kevin. It's a hideous looking skin you're wearing there, mate. Obviously, someone's dropped a can of paint on that. But he's got that car going, and as we were saying, the McLaren off camera, the McLaren is a very, very difficult car to hook up. But if you can get it hooked up properly, it can become very, very handy.
Yeah, you're not wrong about the skin. Certainly, certainly different, we'll say. But you're sitting in P4 right now, so it's good to see actually that there's a few different cars out there. And I think we had someone in a rough, I couldn't quite catch who that was, just going a little bit wide through the spoon curve, loses a place to Paolo as well. Actually, it's a bit of a cluster up there at the moment, looking at potentially 2 or 3 wide. That is Aaron Osborne putting a move on Tobias Cherney as well. Going to go through 130R, takes the move, does the move quite comfortably actually.
Yeah, and Paolo's got a bit of a history of banging into cars and things like that, so hopefully...
Yeah, Osborne there looked like he was going to come back under pressure through the chicane, but manages to hold on to it quite nicely.
But a good opening standing lap here by our leader, a 55.1. He's put himself out just under the second now, in front of Scotty Gray in second. Already extended out to Lars Jeppesen in that Ford GT3, but like I said, there might not be the necessity for pit stops. We don't know. I'm thinking that if they run a particular fuel mapping, that these cars might not have to stop, and that will take away all the advantage that Ford GT has.
Looking at the fuel figures, I feel confident they're all going to have to stop, including the Ford. But yeah, like I say, the ones that I'm a little unsure of is the caddies. So they sound like they're burning twice the fuel when you're on board with one.
Yeah. Well, they're a typical American car, aren't they? The ozone layer doesn't really mean a lot to the industry there. So, but they do sound grunty and they sound fantastic. They look awesome on the inside too. But yeah, it's early days still, but it's been remarkably incident-free. So congratulations to all for that. Normally, you would see quite a few cars lined up in pit lane right now, but the engineers and mechanics got nothing to do except for have a look. So that's fantastic.
Seems to be a little bit of a breakaway group. Obviously, the first 3 pulling, first 2 pulling away, but then from Lars down to Paolo, they seem to be breaking away from Aaron Osborne now as well. So Osborne just losing touch, and he's got a train of cars behind him now. Tobias Cherney, James Heaney, Lazardri, Draveguard, Alex Cherney, Scott Newton in that little pack, and then again there's another little bit of separation, and then Tim Ballinger, who's got Miko Nazi right behind him, well 0.9 of a second behind at the moment. So Miko already made some places up on the grid as well. Then and Tobias fastest lap as well, sorry.
And Tobias has made that move on the inside of Aaron Osborne, and what that's done, gave Aaron a bit of a tap there, but what that's done is let James Keane have a bit of a run here on the BMW, and Farney Lazarity wants to make something of this as well. They're going to go 3 wide into turn 1. This is never a good look. 2 McLarens are the ones who end up having a bump, and Farney through Keane there. They've been reasonably clean, just a bit of bump and run. I don't think anyone's got reason to complain about that, but that's brought Victor Draveguard right back into it, and Alex Cherney. Like I said, that's a bit of a chain there, isn't it? And led by Aaron Osborne, I'm sure that Tobias will be very happy to get out of that training. We know what Tobias is like at saving fuel, and if there's a chance of completing this race without stopping, well, he would be the man to watch.
Yeah, Alex Pole sitting in 19th place in this race. Just seems to be pulling away from the group behind him as well now. So Jason Martin, and he's got Matthew Ross Monroe just ahead of him as well. So really around this place, 17th down, there seems to be a little bit of separation coming now. Pat O'Hare though coming in quite close to Shane Reynolds just ahead of him, so that's a battle for 21st and 22nd place.
And Alex has just binned it, unfortunately, out of that hairpin. Just got on that power that little bit early, and he's just put it into the wall. It's not what he's after. We're trying to pay a bit of attention to Alex this week, and yeah, that's not what he's after there. But back up and going again, but that's dropped him right to the rear of the field. Yeah, that's I'm not sure he's going to have to stop there or what kind of damage he's got, but he's actually got Bruce Keeley up behind him.
He just lost it on the exit, just jumped on board there for a quick replay. And yeah, there was someone just ahead of him who took a little bit of a wide line through the hairpin, and yeah, unfortunately it might have just thrown him off of his line there. I'm trying to get the power down a bit early, see if he could get a run, I think, but yeah, it's cost him big time now, 30th place.
And I also see that, whereabouts are you? Charles Sierra, whereabouts is he? He's put his nose up there in 5th place. He's saying that he's got a 1 second stop-go penalty. A 1 second stop-go penalty. Now, I have never heard of a 1 second stop-go penalty in my life before, and I've got no idea what would have caused that this race.
No, I'm a bit lost as well. Let me just have a quick look at my events for him, just see if we can see anything, because yeah, very odd.
Now, is that the type of penalty you can take when you do your pit stop? It just adds 1 second, or that's going to be a complete pit stop? I'm thinking it's going to be a complete pit stop.
Yeah, I think it will be as well, because you only obviously get so many laps to serve it, so 3 laps. So I guess we'll go expect Charles in pretty quickly. There's nothing anyone can do right now, because the race admin's out on track right now. Mark Lang sat in 34th place. There's not much he can do.
No, and if I was going to say anything about this series, it would be that they could try and have some live stewards, but you know, Mark does so much work towards this series, and no one would begrudge him actually driving in it as well, so I wouldn't expect him to do it. But Kevin Huang, in the meantime, is very racy here against Lars Jeppesen, 130R. Yeah, he hasn't got that move done, but the McLaren's looking pretty quickly and very handy at the moment. But oh, Charles is going to have to do a stop soon. It's ridiculous. I'd love to know what it's for.
Yeah, so just on board now with Kevin as he's about to cross the start-finish line, just tucked up behind Lars right now. You can see the Ford, even in the draft, still able just to pull away. Now Kevin starts to close in, but it's just too late. There's just can't get enough of a run, so going to be very, very difficult for Kevin. Let's watch him through the S's actually, because I think you know, this is where you might see a slight difference. Although Lars got a great run off of turn 2 there, so again, it just looks like Kevin just sacrificing some of the earlier corners in the S's to get better lines, maybe for the exit through Dunlop turn here. Yeah, he is. He's right over to the right, so if you had to get on the gas hard, it actually turns in just a little bit early there, and has to get out of it, just correct the steering there. Didn't want to run over the inside curb, and actually doesn't close up at all through the S's, which quite surprised me. I thought the McLaren would just be a little bit quicker through there as we go through Degner 2 and under the crossover bridge.
Yeah, and Charles Sierra has been disqualified, so he's out of the race. So I'd be extremely interested to find out what happened there. I've never heard of a 1 second stop go. You wouldn't think it would be. Gee, it's a shocking lap for the Evolution Racing Australia team, as Jane Keane has spun after being taken out by Fani Lazarity in turn 1. So it's been a pretty ordinary lap here for the boys, but I'd love to know what it was about. And we've got Charles downstairs. I might go and ask him. We'll be back shortly.
Yeah, while you're doing that, I will very quickly bring up Daniel Benningfield. Good afternoon, Daniel, or good evening for you. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, Alex. How are you?
Yeah, good. Obviously, we're live, and it's Sim Racers Asia GT Series, so just throw you in at the deep end. Just wondered if you got any interested in joining the series in upcoming season?
Yeah, I'll be racing next week.
Ah, excellent. So, yeah, I did wonder if you were going to do it or not. So, great to see. So you'll be joining us for, where is next week? Let me just have a quick look at the schedule. So Zolder. So tricky track. Probably not the best place to start your season.
Yeah, but yeah. Nah, you know me, Alex. You know I don't really care which track. And you know I'm up for a challenge.
So obviously we've seen quite a few different cars out there at the moment. What you're going to be jumping in, and who you're going to be driving with? Any teammates in the series?
Well, I will be jumping in the MP412, the McLaren. And I will be running with KR Ref, but I won't have any teammates as such unless I am in discussion with one of the guys in the team to see if he wants to do it as well.
Okay, cool. Right, well, thanks for popping in, Daniel. I'm going to throw you back down there, I'm afraid, but me and Brenton will carry on with this, and yeah, we'll wish you all the best of luck for round 2, as it will be.
Yeah, thanks, Alex.
A sudden guess there. Sorry, I'm just now, how do you do this? You got a 1 second stop go penalty for jumping the start on a rolling start. So
yeah.
he should have done his pit stop. He should have done that. If you get a penalty, you do it. Then you argue later on. But it's very hard to argue when you're disqualified. So
yeah, exactly. Very tough. But yeah, I got no idea there. So did he overtake somebody before the green flag came out? That's basically the rolling with it. So
I'm thinking that must have been the case. Tim Ballinger is also in the pits too. So our 2 focus drivers of the day have struggled, it must be said. And Timmy's now a lap down, so he's had his quick repair, but he's all the way down the order now.
Mark Warmington seems to have dropped down a little bit. He's ahead of Shane Reynolds, who I'll have to say has got some serious damage on that rough right now. I don't quite know what's happened to Shane, but I think his goose is cooked for this race anyway.
Yeah,
grabbing all over the place right now. So
yeah,
the city brings in.
I'm pretty sure you get a free time. Ben Darley Jr. also has made a bit of a mess of his rough, but yeah, Shane's crabbing into the pit road now, lap 6. Yeah, so he's going to get a free tow, but that will put him well out of contention.
Pack's all starting to separate out a little bit now. I mean, Scott Newton pretty close to Victor here, so just this battle for 9th place on the track, and actually there's a little bit of battle further back as well. That's Miko Nassi just putting a move on Matthew Ross Monroe there as well, so straight through. Actually no, it wasn't, that was a back marker. That was, I believe that was Tim Ballinger, wasn't it, coming out? So yeah, I looked for a minute like it's a bit of action.
Well, there is a bit of action with Tracy Arumschlag has. It's an unusual place to have been. Actually, on the inside there of you'd know the name of the turn there. I see that long
like
left.
Spoon, I think it is.
Yeah, Spoon. That's it. Yeah, the long left. Yep. He's actually gone to the inside there. Unusual place. So. Just dropping a heap of positions as well. It was probably already the lap down, I think.
3 laps down now as well, so yeah, must have some serious problems with that BMW right now. Maybe have had a trip to the pits. No, it hasn't been into the pits, so yeah, just seems to be really struggling out there.
And I have no idea what Ben Darley Jr. is doing, but he's was driving at a rapid pace in reverse up pit lane, so he'd almost get disqualified for that pretty instantly to get a black flag, I would imagine, but he's left us as well, so not the greatest night's work for Ben Darley.
Paolo Martin's just coming under a little bit of pressure now. Tobias Journey closing in on him. That's just 0.3 of a second. Paolo, of course, made that move quite early on past Aaron Osborne, and Tobias some few laps later. They're only 1.5 seconds up the road from Aaron, so Aaron's actually done quite well to stick with those guys. And they are no, they're not. I was thinking they're slowly closing in on Kevin up in 4th place, but that gap's about just under 4 seconds at the moment. So lap times fairly comparable. Actually, Kevin and Paolo identical lap times the last time through. So as Tobias gets all kinds of squirrely coming out of the hairpin.
Yeah, well, Aaron's obviously he's got that car tuned well now. Just maybe with the cold tyres was struggling early, but Tobias and Paolo they've created a bit of a gap between themselves and Aaron. And Aaron's certainly making some ground now. So it's 59.2 last lap. Was preceding lap before that a 59 flat. So it's his quickest lap of the race.
Oh, so just Miko all over the place going through Spoon Curve right now. You can just see he's fighting to keep that car under control. Manages to save it somehow, doesn't lose a place, but he was right on the back of Scott Newton going into that corner there, and did well. It's not easy to keep the car in check when you have that kind of a massive slide. The heat that goes through the tyres just can pretty much turn them into sort of melted rubber, but gets the car collected, it's back underway. He lost about 2 seconds though. It just goes to show how severe it can be when you lose the car like that.
Yeah, can handle a car though. He's the 2 times RMC Asia champion. He's the Yoha Invitational Cup Grand Prix champion back in 2002. He's very experienced with a wheel in his hand, so made that mistake, but didn't cost himself 2 seconds, but that could have been so much worse.
Yeah, we saw him do. I think he did a lap, didn't he, in the Caterham around Malaysia? Very capable driver as well, driver instructor. So, not shy of the odd power slide, I would have to say.
No, but he can handle the car. There's no doubt about that. I'll tell you what is interesting is our first of our Cadillacs is John King. Up into 17th place, so he's already made those 10 positions. Last lap of a 202.1, not his fastest lap, a 201.50. The previous lap was his fastest, but he's got this thing wound up, and it's a great sounding car. Well, no doubt we'll try and jump on board that.
I was about to say, let's do that right now, because
we've just lost Gary Fishwick in 18th from the McLaren. Sorry, but let's just jump on board and talk us around this track here, AC. You probably know it better than anyone I know, so what can we do here?
Yeah, so we're just coming out of the hairpin curve, and I can't remember what this corner is called. It's something R as well, like 250R or something crazy. But we're breaking into Spoon Curve, double apex, long left-hander. You take it as one corner. Got that adverse camber on the exit there, pushes you out and over to the curb, so very tricky corner to set up. Up, down the back straight here, just climbing as we're about to go over the circuit, as it's just goes underneath us right there, and into the famous 130R, been reprofiled after huge crash from Alan McNish. Talking about crash, there's somebody there, that's one of the McLarens, the Marlboro one,
Farney
Lazardy. So again, through the famous Casio Triangle chicane there, of course, where Senna and Prost come together all those years ago now, and through there and down the start-finish line, and about to start another lap here, and through turn 1. This very tricky corner. So it's tricky when you've got a whole load of downforce on it, let alone with just a GT style car, and then through the S's, which we've sort of gone through before. Just again, look at the difference in the line. You can see just not quite keeping as far over to the right here as some of the drivers we were watching earlier on. So just sort of keeping the car more towards the middle of the circuit. Yeah, didn't go as far over to the right before Dunlop curb, and you can see just to be a lot more patient on the gas there through Dunlop, and we're about to head into Degner 1 and then Degner 2 as well. Tricky with that curb as he smashes it hard, but fortunately the caddy can take a little knock and run off there through Degner 2, and we're about to approach once again the hairpin, and that is pretty much a lap around the Suzuka circuit.
Well, these cars are a great lap and well called. These cars weigh 3,200 pounds, so they're a heavy car. V8, 460 brake horsepower, sequential 6-speed gear. So there's a lot of power, a lot of weight, and not a lot of rubber on the ground there. So it's wow. It's sorry, let's get some private messages coming through. but it's a hard beast to catch, and he's holding his own here. He's got Tracy up in front of him, who's made a mistake the lap before, and also Fani Lazardi, who's had a few mistakes in front of him. But yeah, he's holding his own here and doing a fantastic job.
What you got to remember is a pit stop is about 30 seconds, isn't it, in these cars, plus the in and the out time. And it's such a long pit lane here at Suzuka. I would guess that you're close to a minute. It's 52 seconds behind the leaders right now, so if he doesn't need to pit, he's still in the driving seat. He's not going to win. Marcus is going to be able to close that pace up in the last stint for sure. But what you've got to look at is drivers around Paolo, who's 21 seconds behind the leader right now. Now he is actually under serious threat from John King, I would think, if they don't need to pit. So yeah, I think John's just going to stick with it. We're going to see how this plays out. But yeah, I think he could be maybe even fighting for a top 5 if he can carry on with a pretty much instant-free race.
And wouldn't that stir it up, having the Cadillac in the top 5? And
oh, Paolo spun as well.
on.
Paolo, yeah, at the hairpin, so he's dropping rapidly down as well. I'm not quite sure what happened there. Let's take a quick look at that on replay, see if we can figure out what happened.
Just thinking he had a bit of help here. Oh, yeah, Tobias has tapped the back of him. It did look very much like a net code from here. I'm not saying defend Tobias, but on my screen it looks quite a big gap there.
It's massive. Yeah, huge gap, so very frustrating for Paolo. Won't be happy with that, but I'm sure when he looks at it back on replay, he'll realise exactly what's happened there. And that's the one thing, obviously, both these guys obviously based in Europe, and they're of course on the Australian servers, and there is quite a delay and can cause these things, and those hairpin corners, the closure speed there through there and under the braking really does put the predictive code to its or through its paces, and yeah, unfortunately it's fallen pretty foul there.
Yeah, and lap 11, Mikko Nasi has just found himself in the top 10. He's also found himself in pit lane with quite a bit of company
guys
there.
In there,
yeah. So, and Tobias is one of those. Victor Draveguard, Aaron Osborne. Just have a look to see if they're taking tyres. I probably would think not. Such a long stop with those tyres. I can't see anything going on the jacks. Mark Warmington must have had a problem. He's been in there for quite a while, so he's out. Cherney out of the pits. Mikko
just 17 seconds, you're right. So yeah, no one's taking tyres out there. So that's pretty tight coming out through the pits.
That's pretty aggressive by Victor there.
Okay.
But this is where we can see now, though, the relative in comparison with the Cadillacs after the first round of stops. John King is in front of Tobias. Paul Rogers is in front of Victor and in front of Mikko Nasi. I don't think there'll be a problem with these guys rounding these Cadillacs up. But like you said, just the advantage that Cadillac has, and we've seen on tracks like Monza and things like that, where the Cadillac can really stretch its legs and see what difference that makes. And Lars Jeppesen in the first of our Ford GT3s in third place, he'll be pitting this lap as well. Kevin Wang has just dumped it at 130. Not sure if he's going to do it. You might as well do it this lap, but he was right behind Lars there before as well, and he's
look at that back on replay, see exactly what happened there. You're right, well, he just tucked up behind Lars, wasn't he? And then what's he done? Has he just caught the inside there? We know how tricky that inside curve can be through 130 hours. He just run out a little bit wide with the dirty air and he just lost it. Middle of the corner.
He's just lost it. Yep, he's
very
just lost
odd. You don't often see that at all.
And that's what we find, like we drive the McLaren a bit, and our leader Marcus Lenderman comes out, and also Scotty Gray comes out, so that seems to have closed up considerably actually. Interested to see what Lenderman's pit time is compared to Scotty Gray, but that does seem to be a lot closer. Yeah, just with the McLaren, it just seems to have a little mind of its own. And yeah, you could drive along, take the same corner the same way every lap, and then one of these laps is just going to snap out and bite you. So maybe that's what's happened there.
Huge gaggle of cars into the pits right now. So or lots of position changes right now. Miko looks like he might have worked his way up to 9th, I think, with the through the pits. So what else have we got going on as well? So Tobias up to 4th, John King is in 5th.
Yeah, that's the interest, isn't it? Yeah, well, let's just see. Like, his last lap was a 2:02, so he's running, you know, what's Tobias running at? 59, so he's probably above the average. So 2:02s isn't that much below the J curve. Kevin Huang, even after his spin and crash, is yeah, he got lucky there in regards to what lap he did that on. So he didn't really lose as much time as what he could have. It seemed like a very quick pit stop too, just quietly. So yeah, it brings the series alive when you know the Cadillac's got that potential to keep going.
Yeah, just trying to work out exactly, because I thought actually Tobias might struggle to get by John so quickly on the straights, but let's just stick with this now because we've got Kevin closing in. You can see how much quicker through the corners the GT3s are. Whether or not John just let them go.
Yeah, just on the chat he said he is going to let them go. And that's sensible driving. He keeps his car pace up. He's not really racing against them directly. Lars Jeppesen looks like he's made a mistake from 3rd as well, coming out of the, what do you call it, the Casio Triangle or something, but just that slight mistake there, nothing too detrimental. His last lap at 240 because it's pit exit, so that's his out lap.
I believe it's Casio Triangle, isn't it? It's not triage. They're not doing medical
okay,
attention
I was going to say
down
no
there.
one's doing medical stuff. As soon as I said, I thought let's hope that one slips through. But thank you for picking that up for me.
Well, you do the same for me.
Yes,
you know.
I would. Yes, I would. Well, the way some of these cars are crashing at the moment, they might need triage.
Yeah, so Paul Rogers also in the caddy finds himself in 9th place. He's slowly dropping back as well. Miko's just moved his way past him, so he moves up to 8th place. He's got Victor Dravegaard behind him now. So yeah, you're right. Actually, I think once we come to a track where, like you say, Monza, these caddies could be very strong. Spa, somewhere like that as well, where the speed is what is really counts. I mean, clearly they're a lot slower through the corners, but in the straightaways, these GT3s don't have anything. As Victor puts it up the inside, and Paul Rogers actually just lets both these guys go. He knew there was. Oh no, he's not going to let Scotty go. Yes, he is. Yeah, he just pulled out of it. You could just see there.
Yeah, well, just looking at the program, you know, there's some tracks here like Monza. You're going to have to think that the caddy's going to be fairly well at home there. Phillip Island again, another track you think you can open up there a bit, and then the next round Spa. You'd think again, there's 3 rounds there. Phillip Island's actually a reverse grid, so gee whiz, that would be interesting.
Miko Nassi now closing on the back of Alex Cherney. Oh, he's all over.
Oh, not anymore. He's gone
big, and he's upside down. We're on board. Thought for a minute it was going to put a move on, but yeah, that is it. Straight back to the pits. He's just waiting for the tow to happen now. God knows what happened there. Let's take a look at that back on a replay. We saw him got all out of shape earlier on through the spoon curve, but
this is what I'm saying to the McLaren, just mid corner, and that's just lost the back end just ever so slightly. That's just thrown him out. And sorry, Miko, it looks like you've just died a horrible death there, mate, because, geez, you've hit that hard.
It looks like it was going to be exactly the same thing that happened to Kevin. Just was about to lose it in the mid-corner. Of course, Miko jumped on it really quickly to save it, but the car's just instantly gripped and gone the other way, and, yeah, just sent him flying into that outside wall. Yeah, not much you can do.
No, and Victor Dravegaard is up into 8th position now, and there's a caddy in front of him. I don't think Victor. I think he's had 1, maybe 2 top 10 finishes. So yeah, he's in uncharted territory here, and Blue Flag Racing has they've really got their rough dialed up today. It's a shame Mark Warmington's obviously had issues, but Victor's looked pacey all week there. And he's obviously made some ground in the pits as well on Aaron Osborne, because Aaron's now behind him. Whether Aaron took tyres in the pit stop, I would doubt
Aaron definitely took tyres. 29.2 seconds stop compared to everybody else in and around the sort of high teens. So definitely on fresh rubber there for Aaron. So I would think he should be able to get past Victor pretty comfortably, and he looks like he's getting a run now. He's going to go around. Just having a little look around the outside.
He's not going to get the job done there.
Have to be patient through 130R. We've seen a few drivers just lose it there as Victor runs very wide. He'll get an off track for that, but he's in a defensive position, hard on the brakes. Manages to maintain the line there, but I think it's just a matter of time for Aaron finds his way by.
Yeah, we can see in front of him they've got John King in the first of the John King in the first of the Cadillac. So I'll be interested to see how quickly Victor can catch up. I'm just on board with Victor at the moment with that caddy in front. It's just such a beautiful handling car. I honestly believe at the moment, after the current build, it's probably the best all-round GT3 car. I know we've got a couple of BMWs in front, but for all those who are just jumping into the GT3, this is the car to get into. And once you start getting the setups and all that right, then yeah, go to your McLarens and Bimmers. But this car is just an awesome bit of kit. And we've just lost Mark Lang as well. I didn't see what happened to our host. Obviously he's had some dramas.
Yeah, do you know what? The only thing I will always say about the Rough is they've got to give us a race car interior. I know they've got licensing this and licensing that, but come on, strip it down. Let's see a nice race car interior in that as well. Don't want to look like I'm driving my road car when I'm racing.
Yeah, it does look like you got the missus and the kids in the back, doesn't it? It does, you know what I mean? You got the air conditioner on the radio playing, but yeah, that's the one thing this car does miss, and I don't think there's any chance in heck of it being changed. But you can just see the ground that the Rough, or the GT3 car as a general, makes up on the Cadillac, and let's just see what this caddy can do down the long straight here now. The Rough's in the draft, no doubt, of John King in front of him. Doesn't seem to be making a lot of ground. If anything, that caddy's pulling away.
Yeah, but just look at the closure through actual 130R there as well. So
and under brakes.
Yeah,
under brakes. It's just
I think John just letting him go there under brakes. Actually, I think that's his cue.
Yeah, I'm sure he did, but as the season gets on for these races like Monza and things like that, he's not going to do that. He's going to want to stay right with them the whole way through. Still got his nose in the top 10 in 9th position. Scotty Newton in the BMW making some serious ground behind him, and Paul Rogers in the second of our caddies in 11th place. So yeah, it's fantastic. You should have got Shane Reynolds is back in the pits too, and Mark Lang's leaving the pits in the Cadillac. Paulo Martins is back in the pits as well. Obviously had some issues there, so that's a shame for Paulo. It was doing a good steady job.
Well, there was some chat about drivers potentially having to have a bit of a two-stop here. Should be able to make it on one, but it looked like from the first stints that they were going to. So, but you never know. He might have some late dashes into the pits. I think it's probably about time that we spoke about the leader, really, Brendan. He's not thrown away as much as we thought he perhaps would have done. I mean, he's sitting here 4.4 seconds ahead of Scott Gray. Scott's really kept him quite honest. Can't afford to make a mistake at this point. He'll lose the lead quite easily. I mean, any kind of sizable twitch or semi-spin or something like that, and yeah, Scott's going to pick up the pieces quite comfortably.
Well, these are two big teams, aren't they? Coanda Motorsports and Mad Cow Racing. Maybe it's also just a sign of the ever-growing maturity of our leader, Marcus Lenderman. More control. We saw that last season. Yeah, he didn't win the series, we know that. Maybe because he missed out in a couple of races, but yeah, before that, really, it was a bit of a dog's breakfast, wasn't it? And just mess everywhere. But yeah, he's just controlling that pace now. And Scotty Gray, but these two guys now are 28 seconds up the road from third place. So yeah, this could be the class of the field for the season if it continues this way.
Yeah, going to be an interesting dive throughout the season. I hope Scott sticks with the whole season and puts a little bit of pressure under under Marcus as well. I dare say our reigning champion will be back and fighting up there as well once he has a bit more practice underneath his belt in that rough, obviously very light last minute to do the race. I think the time changes let them, the summertime changes let them attend where they thought they weren't going to. So yeah, just a quick look for
it's a good battle for third here. Yeah, really, this is where it's at right now, with Tobias and with Lars for third and fourth, and Tobias is following last season's car, that Ford GT. But yeah, that Ford GT, as we know, it's got some legs on the straight, hasn't it? And Tobias is able to really make ground under brakes. But yeah, once that car gets on the straight, up and away she goes.
Yeah, you would have to think that Tobias going to probably be one of the few drivers to really know where to put the pressure on Lars really here. So having that much experience of it, he knows all the strong and all the weak points of it. So yeah, let's just keep an eye on this little battle. There is another one starting to form up. Aaron Osborne closing in on Victor. Let's just quickly jump for just a second. That's very, very close. Obviously we were watching that a few laps back as well, so still not able to make a move. And also Max Janowski there as well, just behind Pat O'Hare there. So that's a good battle for 13th and 14th.
Fantastic drive out of Spoon by Aaron here. He's got the inside of Victor there and gets the job done before 130R. And just the loss of downforce for Victor in 130R has just dropped him right back. And he's going to have Scotty Newton on him soon as well now. So Victor's got a little bit of work to do here. Lap 18 we're on. Still a bit of time left. I'm thinking it might be another 4, maybe 5 laps to go. So yeah, still a bit of work to do to keep in that top 10. And we've still got the 2 Cadillacs in 10th and 11th. And I can't actually see them getting caught. I reckon we'll have a Cadillac in the top 10.
You're right, Matthew Ross Monroe set in 12th place. He's 15.5 seconds behind Paul Rogers right now. So yeah, 10th and 11th really for the Caddies. So they've done a great job out there today.
Yeah, a really, really fantastic job. And I don't think Matthew Ross Monroe does a lot of GT3 driving. I know he's done very well Division 3, I think, for the V8s this season. I think he's actually leading that at the moment with some good performance. He's in V8 Supercars America's Championship. But no matter how good he is there, he's not going to be able to get the job done here tonight in picking up these 2 caddies. And 2 caddies are teammates as well, so even if he did get up to Paul Rogers, I can't see Paul making life that easy for him.
Also seen another little battle start to form up as well, and that's between Jason Martin and DK Lee. As Martin gets himself all out of shape through the exit of 2. Manages to stop the car from hitting the wall, but yeah, all of a sudden from being just half a second behind, he's now 2.8 seconds. So curse of the commentators there, I'm afraid. Sorry Jason. Yeah, got it all to do. You've got 6.5 minutes, get up to him.
And Fani Lasredy has again been in the McLaren. He's had a bit of a shocker. I know he took out James Keane before, and he's had other incidents as well. So yeah, whether he's overdriving it, or I'm not sure whether he's just not unhappy with the setup, I don't know, but he hasn't had a great night at the office, Farney, and I would imagine he's really building up those incident points tonight.
Lars still holding off Tobias Cherney for what is 3rd place, so you'll want to hold on to that podium. 24 seconds behind, 28 seconds behind the leader right now as well, so certainly not been able to compete with the front guys. We thought maybe this Ford would have something up its sleeve for the second half of the race, but yeah, he had his little moment, didn't he? Was it Lars at some point and dropped a bit of time?
Yeah, just coming out of the knockout triangle.
Oh, here goes Tobias up the inside through Dunlop. I've never seen anyone make a move through there. Oh, under braking through Techno 1. I thought for a minute he was going straight into the back of him.
But that's what you've got to do, isn't it? Because you know you're not going to pick him up on the straight unless Lars makes a mistake. And Lars does an excellent job, week in, week out in the cars that he drives. I'm not sure what experience he's got in the GT3s. I do know he does a lot of other cars and does a fantastic job with them. So he's not the type of guy who's just going to make a mistake, and pressure like this is not something that is going to be completely new to him.
That's what I do like about actually all the different cars. I'm glad they didn't just match the physics on all of them, which would have been a bit of a cop out, I have to say, on iRacing's part. So they've gone there, and you know, every car has its advantage and its disadvantage, and you know, right now, you know, Tobias' advantage is through the corners, but Lars knows he's got this if he just ensures he doesn't make any kind of mistakes. And oh, it just runs a little bit wide there, but has to cover the inside of into the chicane there as well. But Tobias gets a good exit. It's just not going to be enough though.
He's just not going to get the job done.
We'll stay with them right now. In fact, let's just jump on board with Tobias here, because I think we'll see. We'll just jump on board for a lap actually, and just see the differences in the two cars. So again, rounding turn 1, turn 2. The Ford gets a good run out of that corner as well. So
yeah,
even if you got that huge advantage through the S's, as we can see, Tobias slowly working his way up. It's not massively quick. Seems to be sort of into not the very entry, but the sort of second phase of the entry as they're approaching the middle of the corner. That's where these roughs seem to have a little bit more downforce than the Ford. And again, through Dunlop curve, not quite as close this time round, so it's not going to be able to make any kind of challenge through Degner 1 and Degner 2, and perhaps a little bit slow in there, just trying to shape up Lars for some sort of move, maybe a late move into to the hairpin, but way too far back this time to do it. And actually Lars even goes defensive just in the middle of the track, just to make sure nothing, it doesn't get some sort of surprise attack.
And just looking further down the track, there's a three-way battle here with three different cars. Buffet 19, King 21st, and Alex Pole, one of our drivers, All-Star Motorsports BMW in the car 099. These three have had their problems. I'm not sure about Chris, whether he's had any issues tonight, but obviously Keen taken out by Lasry early, and Pole, well, we saw that coming out of the hairpin, just put into the wall. So certainly two out of the three have had some dramas, but some close battling here. Alex just drops off there. I'm just wondering whether he got a slowdown going through the Nokia there. I reckon he might, because it just seems to have dropped off a little bit.
Yeah, he got a little sideways actually. I think he just burnt up. I think these guys have just overtaken him that lap actually, because I was just looking at the timing sheets. It was he's all of a sudden appeared in 21st, so I think actually he was a bit further back. So yeah, and James there just about gets himself up and through as well, so that's another place for James there.
Yeah, it's James's first race here. I'm not sure how much he will be able to commit to the series, but just with Alex again, just that Ford GT with Christopher Fay, like again, like I said, we've just been talking about it with Lars Jepperson, how quick that Ford GT is, but it's different hands here with Chris. I'm not going to say he's I don't think he's right up to where Lars is driver-wise, but Alex gets a tight exit there, coming into this hairpin again. Just backs off pretty early, doesn't he?
Yeah, just yeah, don't want any of that, does he? So I don't know if he's nursing any kind of like instant limit or something like that. I can't really recall from the rules whether there was any of that actually on there, but I've seen a few drivers pull out. So
no, there's no incident limit. I can confirm that now. Actually, we'd be coming up with not so many laps to go. So no incident limit. So no problem there of a DSQ. However, there are bonus points if you have 0 incidents during the race.
Pole here definitely looks like I thought he had a run there. He was side by side coming out of the corner, but just look at the power of the Ford back into the draft for Alex. Having a look up the inside, he should, if he can keep it there.
It doesn't want it. Well, I'm sure he wants that position, but he might have to just push that a little bit harder. Not so much even take a risk, but just stick the nose in there, just to get that spotter saying, you know, car left, car right, just to get the other guy something to think about. He just seems to back out so quickly.
I'm trying to remember actually, Chris was in the series a couple of seasons ago and was pretty competitive. I'm trying to remember what car he was in.
In the rough. Pretty sure it
might have been the rough, yeah. Again, Pole has a look up the inside this time. Sure, a little bit of contact between the two, but they're side by side. Chris might still have the advantage going through. They're still nip and tuck, but no, that's it. Pole's got it. He runs a bit deep though, and he's going to have to cover off the off the exit here if he's going to maintain it, and he does. And yeah, so Pole moves himself into 20th place on what will be the last lap of the race. The countdown timer is finished. We're going to jump over to our leader because really he hasn't had the coverage today that probably should have done. It's always the way when you're out front, quite comfortable. You don't get too much airtime, I'm afraid, Marcus.
Well, the thing is, as comfortable as he's been, and he's only the 2 seconds up the road, sorry, 3 seconds up the road from second place Scotty Gray. So, yeah, a great performance that has to be known. And these guys are half a minute up the road from third place. And let's face it, Lars and Tobias have been battling, but a dominant, clean performance by Marcus Lenderman. Yeah,
absolutely. You can't say anything more than that as well. He didn't make a mistake. He might have had the pressure behind him, but we've seen that from Marcus a few times in recent seasons. That he just seems to have a little hiccup here or there in the race, and it sets him back. Usually he's got a comfortable enough lead that he still gets the victory, but this time he certainly wouldn't have had that lead. And but he didn't make a single mistake, and he's going to come across, take the victory in the opening round of the Sim Racers Asia GT Simulator Series. And here comes Scott Gray as well. You have to say, very, very impressive performance. I'm looking forward to seeing what Scott does for the rest of the season.
And we'll jump back to our battle for third, Lars Jeppesen. He's going to get that job done. That's a fantastic debut. I'll claim that I told you to keep your eye out open for him, because I know what he does in the local Australian iRacing community. So an awesome performance by Lars Jeppesen, coming third in that Ford GT3 here at Suzuka, in front of last season's champion Tobias Cherney. So there's the top four, and Kevin Huang, first of our McLarens, in 5th place even after that incident, just putting his nose just in front of Alex Cherney there.
Yeah, all of a sudden Kevin seemed to have dropped off my timing sheet for whatever reason, so doing as a lap down. I don't know, that might just be a bit of a timing glitch bug, I'm afraid.
Looks like a glitch, I've got him the 41 seconds down the road from our winner, Marcus Lenderman, and just the 1 point.
A little bit of battle here actually right at the end. 11th and 12th place, Matthew Ross Monroe and Matt Shinosky here as well, so it's going to be close, but I think they're just going to stay as they were. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, 4/10 of a second separate them as they cross the line. So battle for 11th and 12th. Where?
No, that's actually a battle.
12th and 13th, isn't it? So.
Yeah, and that's because the positions 10, 11, and congratulations to both of them. The Blackadder Motorsports Cadillacs.
Yep.
In 10th and 11th positions. Now, John King in 10th place. He started 27th on the grid, so from 27th to 10th. But Paul Rogers behind him, and only the 1 second behind him, hopefully they did the formation to finish for their new sponsors, started in 34th position and finished in 11th.
Yeah, well, there you go. I think, I honestly think we're going to see them up there. I mean, just over the minute behind, in a track where they perhaps can reduce that deficit down by a further second, then they'd have been there. And I think they're going to do that on some tracks. This Silverstone, going crazy. Suzuka, a very, very technical track, very demanding on the downforce. You need high levels of that, even in the single seaters. They pack on the downforce, and that's really where they suffered. And I think, like I say, Monza and Spa and places like that, and it's going to be quite interesting. Are we going to somewhere like Road America or anything like that? Let's have a quick look, because
we are. Road America is round 3. Round 3. You'll be here for that. And Brands Hatch, you'll be here for Interlagos. You'll be here for Spa and the Sebring Enduro at the end.
Phillip Islands, so that'll be quite close at Phillip Islands as well, I think. So.
Yeah, I think you'll have some GP commitments that weekend, but it will be, and that's with a reverse grid too. So, we're talking these guys, if they're qualifying down in 34th position here, it's going to be a bizarre one, because in a reverse grid race, where's the incentive to put in a fast lap for qualifying? I'm not sure how that works, or whether they just do the top 10, I don't know, but there's got to be some way to have incentive to do a quick qualifying lap. But anyway, off to the results of race 1 here at Suzuka of the Sim Racing Asia Championship. for season 2 of 2015, and Marcus Lenderman in the Commander Motorsports car 110, our winner here today. Dominant performance, fastest lap practice, fastest lap qualifying, and led from start to finish. Just 3.2 seconds down the road from Mad Cow Racing, Scotty Gray. Lars Jefferson, we spoke about him in the battle with him and Tobias Cherny, who's in fourth. Kevin Huang, even after that mistake, brought the first McLaren home fifth. Alex Cherny, the second of the roughs, obviously after his brother, in sixth place. Aaron Osborne did a good job. Aaron, Timmy Ballinger's teammate, did an awesome job. Looked like he was a bit slow early, but obviously waited for the car to get into tyre pressure and things like that, and got his job done. Victor Draveguard, I believe that's his best result in 8th. Scotty Newton, 9th place, he'll be happy with that. John King, which is an awesome performance, in 10th. And my driver of the day is actually Paul Rogers, from 34th up into 11th in the other Cadillac.
Yeah, I don't think you can give that to anybody else. What a great drive, in what is a slightly slower car out there as well, but absolutely nailed it. And yeah, from all the way back there. Just to run through the rest of the finishing order: Matthew Ross Monroe in 12th, Matt Chinosky in 13th, Pat O'Hara 14th, DK Lee 15th, Jason Martin in 16th, Fanny Lazardri in 7th, Phil White in 18th, James Keane there as well, 19th, Alex Pohl in 20th, we saw him get up there as well, Chris Buffet in 21st, Martin Creamers in 22nd, Gary Fishwick in 23rd, Adrian Jarvis, Tim Ballinger, Bruce Keeley, Mark Lang, of course, was he the first of our retirees? No, he must have got it back out on the circuit as well. But then we are starting to see the people that retired as well. So Tracy, Anthony, Paolo, 7 months down. Martin, Shane Reynolds, Miko Nazi, of course, crashed in spectacular fashion into the 130R runoff area there. Mark Warmington had his problems early on, as did Ben Darley, and Charles, we know, with the weird disqualification. Wasn't last of the runners. Alvin Neves there as well was a little bit further down. Didn't see quite what happened to Alvin, and then we've got a few non-starters, but I know that Alex Marshall was spotting for Scott Newton, and I'm not sure about Marcus Wang, why he didn't take to the grid.
No, I don't know, but we had 37 finishes, so it's a strong field, isn't it? Congratulations to Marcus Lindemann. It'd be great to have a chat with him after the race one day. We don't get the chance to speak to him at all, and hopefully we'll get that rectified. We've got Scotty Gray and Lars Jefferson as our top 3, so hopefully they'll take the time and have a chat with us in an interview.
Yeah, what we'll probably do is we'll go to a quick commercial break before having a chat with them, but also just want to pick up actually on a point that you were mentioning about the broadcast. Of course, this season, fortunately, my World Championship commitments are well and truly on, so we'll be doing every other race as well in this. So there won't be one next week, but we'll be back for the week after that. There's always something crops up, so I can't really commit to sort of doing post-race ones as well. So yeah, apologies to all the fans of the series that want to watch it week in, week out. And maybe Mark can arrange something with Checker Flag Interactive, but I think moving forward to some of the smaller circuits, they'll be split between the pro and the AM categories as well, or the clubman categories, sorry. So they'll be covering those events, but yeah, so every other week, when there's a week off, we'll be me and Brenton will be here doing these. So just as I saw a couple of people asking, so that's where we're at with that. But yeah, we'll take a quick commercial break, see who we can get in for an interview, and we'll be right back with you in just a few minutes.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series, and since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Welcome back to Apex Racing TV. Total noob failure from your broadcaster here today. I forgot to unmute us when we come back from commercial break, but we're back. We're joined by Scotty Newton. Scott, congratulations on today's race. We've gone through this already, but we'll go through it again for those that are listening. 9th place, last year's Clubman champion. Just give us a brief overview about your race, how it went, and you know what your thoughts are for the rest of the season.
Yeah, cheers, Alex. Yeah, qualified 15th for this race. I hadn't had any practice since the build has come out, mainly doing other series. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with that qualifying result. And then mainly in the race, I was mainly just staying out of trouble, trying to overtake Victor Draveguard, but he did some pretty awesome defending. And yeah, like pretty happy with the 9th place at the end of the race.
Brenton, anything for Scott? We're going to cut it short, I think, as we've already bored him with these ones already.
Yeah, well, right, Motorsports, mate. Is it just yourself running with that team this season, or is there a teammate that we should be on the lookout for? Anyone up and coming?
Yeah, my teammate at the moment is Alex Marshall. So he was spotting for me today, which was a really good job from him, and I really appreciate that from him. But yeah, we've sort of be on a part-time schedule, but we'll just see how we go. Exactly, because we do this and then the iGPS as well, so which will be challenging going from the GT3 straight into the F1. But yeah, he's a pretty good driver. Both of us are in the Clubman class as well, so yeah, it'll be interesting to see how we do this season.
We obviously won't be around for Zolder round 2, but we'll catch you again for Road America. What do you expect the challenges there to be? I mean, I guess that'll be a single server as well, 60-car grid, so we should see you on the track for that one, I think.
Yeah, I hope to be there as well. Mainly for Zolder, I think it's going to be a single file track, given the tight nature of it. But yeah, it should be good and really close racing.
Sorry, Brenton, back to you, mate.
No, you pretty much covered the base I was going to cover about with Zolder next week. So yeah, mate, ninth place overall, mate, from 15th in the grid, mate. It's a great job. So hopefully, I know with your F1 commitments, you get a bit stretched, but hopefully we'll see plenty more of you in the series. And yeah, well done tonight.
Nice, cheers, Brenton, and thanks, Alex.
Cheers, mate. Right, well, after that miserable fail from me, I think we're going to cut the interview short. Everybody else has left, waiting in patience as well. But yeah, thank you, Brenton. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Enjoy your Easters, those that celebrate it. And yeah, we'll catch you all back for Road America. But yeah, just before you go, Brenton, just to confirm, your driver of the day has gone to Paul Rogers, yeah?
Right, 30. What do we say? 37th on the grid, up to 11th. It was a pretty clean car. Didn't need to go through the car wash at the end of that. So yeah, it was a toss-up between himself and his teammate John King from 34th to 10th. But no matter how much you look at it, the Blackadder Motorsports Cadillac team did an awesome job tonight, and I look forward very much to seeing them on tracks that are probably more favoured later on.
Yeah, absolutely, me too. Certainly going to give that to Paul, so congratulations to him. Alex Simpson, Brenton O'Brien here for Apex Racing TV at round 1 of the Sim Racers Asia GT Simulator Series from Suzuka. Marcus Lenderman is back, and he takes victory here, but he's got a lot of company. Scott Gray is going to keep him honest for the rest of the season, I'm sure. Stay tuned, we'll see you in 2 weeks' time for Road America.